Good morning, market snappers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. Ooh, TGIF. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. We got the weekend coming up. Hopefully, you have some good time with your family, friends. Get outside if you can, if it's not minus 40 degrees, wherever you're at. Thankfully, I'm in Southern California, so it's going to be 75 to 78 degrees today. And I'm not trying to rub it in. It's just what it is. And we pay for that extra perfect, beautiful weather over here. So if you're new to the live stream, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the live stream, even better. Good to see you back on here. Um, first half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, indices, anything else that jumps out at us on the watch list, metals. And on the second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. We're going to keep today to an hour or less, so we're going to get rocking and rolling. We're going to be high speed. We're going to be fast. Do your best to keep up, but try to keep the rambles and the rants down today because I'm going to be taking my mom to the airport and sending her back home to Arizona. She was out here helping me with the baby while the wife was out of town, and now the wife's got back in last night. She was on a work trip, and we're all back. So we're going to take mom back to the airport today. So try to keep it to an hour, get rock and rolling here. But good morning, good morning, good morning. Muddy Kirk, Market Sniper in the house. What's up, what's up, what's up? This is the Bitcoin daily chart. We were thinking that, the quick recap is, we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but the quick recap is we didn't just start drawing these target boxes, yesterday or the day before. We've had them on the charts. And on October 8th, I put out the Wyckoff distribution at 123,700. In hindsight, price did go below $80,000 eventually. Did not go below $80,000 on November 20th. There was a relief rally first. On October 10th, when we had the sell signal on the daily chart and candle closed below the trading dots, I also put out the October 10th weekly chart, the Bitcoin bear market roadmap, and then we saw a 36% drop. We're talking about it. Relief rally. At some point, we're going to see a relief rally, aka bounce. And in hindsight, it was the exact same two market sniper targets that we saw from 2022. Both of them were hit. Both of them were inside that retracement target box, and it was about 21.64%. And then we saw price start to break back down. We were covering it every single day on the live stream as well. We've got receipts for it. So if you're new and you're unsure, you can go back. I don't delete any of the live streams, but they just get kind of lost in the algorithms over time. But we're putting them out every single day, and you can see that we are calling it out the entire way. Over here at 81,000, we talked about it could be a long squeeze, the opposite of a short squeeze, because there was billions of long liquidations all the way down to 66,000. We said it could happen very quickly. In hindsight, it did. Over here, we're talking about let the trending dots catch up there at $84,000 at the time. Indeed, the trending dots did catch up. Price finally retested it at like $67,000, $68,000. Looks like it's getting rejected off of it. And however the price action would play out, I drew the squiggly lines. And, we were thinking maybe by the end of February. It's still the end of February, but maybe we don't see prices come back down to retest this target area, or not retest, but hit this target area below 58,000 first part of March, right? Second week of March. We don't know the exact timing. We don't have a magic crystal ball, but we stack probabilities in our favor, whether it's liquidation levels or what the charts are telling us or on-chain, whatever it is, right? We're obsessing over the charts. We're obsessing over the data. We stack the probabilities in our favor, and then we let it rip, right? Calculated risk-taking. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, it's for educational purposes only. Hopefully, have a little bit of fun along the way. Woo! Lucky Look 7159. What's up? Welcome. So that's where we're at. We drew out the squiggly lines, maybe one last pump up and coming back down. Obviously, I redrew this just for timing purposes, but it was the exact same idea. It was the exact same idea. So we're trending closer and closer. The main thesis at the top, when I put out the Wyckoff distribution, there was bearish divergence, there was long-term bearish divergence, all of that. The main thesis was price would come back and retest the 200-week SMA, this blue line, which is under $59,000, currently at 58,370. It's a slow-moving target. And versus price going back up and making a new all-time high, right? Versus Bitcoin going back up and making a new all-time high. We've been talking about that since October. Main thesis is price come back and retest the 200-week moving average at $58,000 versus all the talking heads calling for $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. And in hindsight, we know how that worked out. OSS underscore Shibunachi. Ooh, I love that name. Shibinachi. I like that. I like that. Yo, 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 yo. Good news. Short in profit from yesterday. Cool, cool, cool. Let's flip that 9,000. Oh, I don't know if that'll ever, it's not a large gap. What I always say and quote, not all gaps get filled, but they sure do great for making targets, right? Filling gaps is great for making filling targets, but not all gaps get filled. It also depends on the significance of the gap, right? Is it a 1% gap that the market bosses don't really care about? Is it a 4% gap? But if it's like a 20% or 10% gap, I'll be very surprised if those larger gaps don't eventually get filled. So cool, 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 cool. So with that, that's what we're continuing to watch over here on Bitcoin daily chart. Broke down, pumped back up, trapped some more bulls, trapped as many as they could, all the way back up to $70,000. Started to reverse, and the trending dots are still red. And now we're probably going to see. We saw the candle close back below the trending dots yesterday, and now it looks like we're starting to get some follow through along with the Nasdaq and SP 500. So that would also probably help push price down if we see a bigger correction on Nasdaq and SP 500. So we're going to get into all that. We're going to cover Bitcoin on the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart to get the overall trend. Make sure we're still on the right side of things, which we are. It's still early in the bear market. So we're going to cover all of that. But before we do, London, UK, National Sexy News. What's up? What's up? AKA Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence, for helping me, help me with the algorithms. He smashes the like, comments on both YouTube and the X app. So I appreciate that. We're simultaneously live streaming to 3 different accounts: my YouTube, Jesse Olson at X, and of course, Market Sniper Pro on X as well, all 3 simultaneously. So thank you, London, aka Lawrence. And speaking of which, you can find our website over here on Market Sniper Pro, or you can find the website on Jesse Olson as well. Either one. Come over here. You can see the features. We talk about it. We have our own charting system. Yes, we still use TradingView as a bridge. We have our own dashboard. And this is the worst these tools are ever going to get. We're going to only continue to make upgrades to the tools, all of that. Bot setups, recorded coaching. We have 70 plus hours of recorded coaching. Community, we still use a Discord as a bridge, but we have our own online community similar to Discord. We have our own charting system similar to TradingView, but we're still using both of them as a bridge as of now, and probably will be for the foreseeable near future. But one of the things that I love is that we had built our indicators and trading bots on TradingView, and now we're rebuilding them on our own platform, Python versus PineScript. But we started with PineScript first, but we have automatic gap detection. We have the indicators for the you can filter it out through sniper, right? Our sniper indicators, or all, or go by trend, momentum, volatility, vitality, volatility, volume, all that. So what I have on here on my chart is gap detection and auto trend lines. I love the auto trend lines. I love the gap detection, and probably even put on chart patterns if you wanted to see if any chart patterns come up. I mean, that's pretty cool. I haven't even put the chart patterns on. I think I put them on a while back, but chart patterns is cool as well. But I definitely like the gap ones, and it does it for the daily or the weekly chart. So they look different on both. On the weekly chart, you'd only see the one gap, right? So I got a little target here for that. But even more important than that, like the charting system's awesome. Our screener, and I did a video on this, and the screener takes it from over 4,000 symbols that matter, right? We got stocks, crypto, ETFs. We don't have any penny stocks with no volume. We don't have any meme coins with no volume. It's the assets that matter for swing trading, right? In my opinion. But you can come over here and put in bullish divergence on the daily chart, and you're going to see it narrow down from over 4,000 just to 2, right? So you can literally narrow it down to however you want to set it up. This is the weekly chart. So you could also change this to the weekly, and that would change what it looks like. So this is showing bullish divergence on the weekly chart for NFE. MSAI, bullish divergence. So just all things that you can do over here. Daily chart, come over the daily chart, right? PEW. So it's got a gap up there, bullish divergence on PEW, gaps, downward trend line. So could be catching the next move higher before it happens. And that's the whole thing, finding the next breakout before it happens, right? And we've got some other filters that play a big part. So, and then strategy builder, alerts, news, and of course, trade logs, all that stuff. Sniper assist, right? So that's only been rolled out to the admin so far. We're still testing it, still training it, all that stuff, but eventually it's going to come out. And then, of course, got the community over here, and you've got, similar to the Discord, and you've got 70 plus hours of recorded coaching. So that's all. But daily chart, let's get back to it. Bitcoin's 65,500 ish and dropping on the daily chart, still bearish. If we look at the weekly chart, the Bitcoin bear market roadmap, this is where we're at. We put this out on October 10th. We put all 5 targets out on October 10th. We didn't put it out yesterday. We didn't start talking about this fractal yesterday or the month before. We put this fractal out from 2022. I know everyone's talking about it now. Okay, so great. Better late than never, right? But we put this fractal out from 2022. There's a lot of similarities. Never expected to be exactly the same, but a lot of similarities, right? A lot of similarities. And here we are. Sell signal. Of course, there was a buy signal, but it was already rolling over, bearish divergence, all that. And then, of course, there was another sell signal. And we saw, originally this was put out as Heikinashi. So if we switch to Heikinashi, it looks a little bit different. And it looks more similar to the fractal as well. You have the big drop down, then you have the relief rally. You have the big drop down, and then the relief rally, and then another big drop down. And this is where we're at on the next big drop down. So if you're looking at the Heikinashi, this is where it looks like that we're at. Seems like we are ahead of schedule, and it's possible that we see this bear market last until October. Could be faster, or it could be longer. We don't know. I put out a post on. It's not going to be very popular, I'm sure, especially with hodlers. but I put out a post on Jesse Olson right here. You can go take a look at it. We're not going to cover it here, but what if the Bitcoin super cycle already happened? It was a 253 million% move. And then I go into a bunch of details talking about it, breakdown from the long-term trend line from 2015, talked about the downward sloping 200-week moving average on Bitcoin versus gold. You can go check it out. Talked about it a lot here on the live streams. Every single day we've talked about it. We've covered it. Broke this on RSI. It's the lowest monthly RSI we've ever seen in Bitcoin versus gold history. And of course, you don't want to see Bitcoin versus the dollar have a downward sloping 200-week moving average. United Health Group does. And the last time United Health Group did was 2008. So you don't want to see Bitcoin have a similar downward sloping 200-week moving average. And of course, what started it all was the 2025 Wyckoff distribution at 123,700. So, but that's what we're talking about is, we're assuming that this plays out similar to 2022. That's still my main thesis. However, if this time is different, it's because of that super cycle post that we've been talking about on the live stream. So we've been talking about in the live stream first every single day. So that's what made me want to write that long thread. I never write threads, but I thought that was a good time to write a thread, not just to write a thread, but to go into more detail of what we talk about on the live streams here every day. And something to refer back to is if what I've been talking about since 2021, 2022 is that Bitcoin has never experienced a .com like bubble crash. Bitcoin has never experienced a 2008 like bubble crash. If we did, then this thesis would be wrong. And we would be looking at something more like United Health Group, where it's a prolonged bear market. And if so, price would be going a lot lower than target 5, in my opinion. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We're going to take it level by level. It's just something that we keep thinking about, that we've been thinking about since 2021. And Bitcoin is only really experienced up only. And when the market has had a 30% correction on the indices, Bitcoin's gone down 75 to 80%. In the .com bubble, even Amazon went down 92%, right? So we would expect Bitcoin, if there's going to be like a 2008 like crash or a .com bubble like crash, we would expect Bitcoin to go down much further. So something to be aware of. You don't want to see this 200-week moving average become downward sloping. We've talked about it, not just on Bitcoin versus gold, but we've also talked about it on the live streams that Ethereum already has it. And we'll cover a bunch more too. So, but first, let's finish up here on the 2-week chart. Weekly chart is still ultra bearish. 2-week chart is still bearish. Notice the trailing dots over here, right? Is this log? No. Okay, good. 2-week chart is still bearish, downward sloping, right? It's going to take time for momentum to turn around. It's going to take time. 3-week chart, downward sloping, red trending dots. It's going to take time for the momentum to turn around. The monthly chart, the month is almost over, and it's going to print a red trending dot in March. So when the new monthly March candle starts, it's going to print a red trending dot. After that big move down, June 2022, price printed a red trending dot on the next month, in July 2022, right? The bottom still was not in. The price still went lower, right? Still went lower. So we'll see what happens. But June 2022, we had all the capitulation talks of the leverage companies going out of business. Guess what? February 2026, now Jane Street comes out. It was all in the charts. It was all in the charts. You can blame XYZ company, but the reality is the market bosses give us signs, bearish divergence at the top. They give us signs. Relative strength is leaving the building. And then when they push price down, that's when you find out who was doing what with long liquidations or whatever, right? It's the charts that keep us on the right side of things. And then the news and the narratives fill in the blanks of why XYZ happened. So, but the overall trend to the downside, it is bearish, right? And it has been. If you look at October, right? The momentum is to the downside. The momentum is to the downside. It's going to take time for the momentum to turn back around. So, and we've been ready for it. We've been prepared for it. We've been talking about it. We've been calling it all the way from the top. So there we go. This bullish divergence was cleared, in my opinion. And we talked about we take deep dives on took a deep dive on the second recorded coaching video for more than an hour on divergence and stuff like that. So hodl, it's a good day to be a bear. So hodl, we were talking about if the Bitcoin ETFs come back down and retest the all-time lows from January 2024, which I think is very possible, Bitcoin would be at $39,000. Keep that in mind. Bitcoin futures breaking down, right? It's got this new gap. It's a small gap, but it will be a gap for the next bull run, a target for the next bull run, or relief rally or whatever. But we'll see. Going over the Bitcoin versus gold monthly chart is what we're talking about. First time in history that we've seen Bitcoin versus gold downward sloping 200-week moving average. That's not bullish. That's bearish. That's not bullish. It's never happened before. It's always been upward sloping. Not anymore. Not anymore. Never in the history of Bitcoin versus gold have we seen RSI monthly at 34.24. Never. That's not bullish. That's bearish. Broke this trend line going all the way back to 2015, so 11 years. Broke this yellow trend line going back to 2019, 7 years. From bottom to bottom, 48 months. Bottom to bottom, 47 months. If we go from bottom to bottom in October, that would be 46 months. So as of right now, the bottom is not in. And this has never happened in the history of Bitcoin versus gold. Downward sloping. That's not bullish. We'll see what happens. What else? What else? What else? If you go over Ethereum on the monthly chart, downward sloping 200-week moving average, lower high on the monthly chart going all the way back to November 2021. Yes, we did spike above. Thanks for Tom Lee, calling out $7,000. He probably ruined it for all of us. It's not bullish. That is not bullish. XRP, come back down the 200-week moving average as we anticipated, right? Chainlink, downward sloping 200-week moving average, not good. Cardano, downward sloping 200-week moving average, not good, not bullish. Algo, downward sloping. H-bar, downward sloping. There's nothing new to report on these, so that's why we're not spending a bunch of time. So if you do have chart requests on altcoins, it's probably going to look very similar as what it has been. So let's see, where are we at? Where are we at? bum, bum. Cool, cool, cool. XLM near downward sloping 200-week moving average. You don't want to see Bitcoin versus the dollar with a 200-week downward sloping 200-week SMA. You don't want to see it. If you're a hodler, if you're looking to buy the right dip, then it is what it is, right? It is what it is. The MicroStrategy, still the canary in the coal mine. Thank you, MicroStrategy, for being the canary in the coal mine in Bitcoin. I appreciate it. Not only this bear market, but the last bear market. Talked about it. Even some points of the bull run, like over here in September 2024, MicroStrategy is making new all-time highs. And I said, is Bitcoin next? And Bitcoin is at $65,000. And in hindsight, that happened, right? NASDAQ, well, we'll come back to it. Let's look at the gold real quick. Still following this fractal. Still wasn't ready to call the top on gold yet. Just like many were calling for the top over here, I wasn't ready to call for it. They were hoping that gold would this was the top for gold and it was going to rotate into Bitcoin. That did not happen. I said the higher time frames are still ultra bullish and it's still buy the dip season until proven otherwise. In hindsight, that was accurate. Over here, they're calling the top again. I said, could it be the top? Sure. It could be the top, but I'm not shorting it. And the higher time frames remain ultra bullish. And so we could at least see a new high made, creating bearish divergence. And that could go on for a while. It could go on a topping pattern for a while. So not ready to call it yet. I don't have any plans to short it because the higher time frames are ultra bullish, right? Ultra bullish. I mean, it looks like you would want to short that, but it's ultra bullish right now. So I have no desire to short it. I have no desire to short that whatsoever. No desire. It's bullish on the daily, ultra bullish on the higher time frames, and can remain that way. So silver bouncing. That was a big drop though. So we'll see if it puts in a lower high or bearish divergence. It's a wild animal. Dollar's flat today, but we drew this out a while back. Drew the squiggly lines a while back, and we've been covering it every single we've been covering it every single live stream. Actually, I should take a look at it as, do you think this is Wyckoff accumulation? Maybe? Because this, if so, that could be the spring, right? Ooh, that might be not distribution. Wyckoff accumulation, right? That could be the spring. And if it does, if it pops through this, right, then we could see that move much higher. This, it might be, because that looks very similar. This chart, does anyone notice what I noticed? This chart looks very similar to Bitcoin's Wyckoff accumulation July, what was it, June through July 2021. And then I was buying Bitcoin with 10x leverage at 32,300 and rode that all the way to 48,000. And then there was a correction and I bought that dip at 44,000 with 10x leverage and rode that all the way to $61,000. Two of my top 5 Bitcoin trades of all time with 10x leverage. Woo-wee! Six-figure swing trades. But you don't see me flexing Lambos. If you ever see me flexing, it's going to be a flex so big, it's not going to be a Lambo. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I got something cooking. It's going to be the biggest flex ever, but it's not what you think. Good morning. Good morning. Can we take a look at Comcast? Sure. Sure. We'll circle back. Click invert scale on. Okay. Okay. VIX 9%, still bullish. Still bullish on the daily chart, weekly chart, all that stuff. Still elevated at $20 right now. Above the 200, above the trending dots. Look out. If we break out of here with the candle closed, we could see an explosive move on the VIX, which means a bigger drop in the markets. So watch out. Coming soon. Coming soon to a live stream near you. What else? Hive. Ooh, these are all getting CLSK. What was it? Cypher. Oh, we're switching to AI. Cool. Cool. SQQQ Platinum. All right, let's go over to the Magnificent Seven and Netflix catching a big old bounce. So you got Netflix over here. Wow. Yesterday on pending not yesterday. On Wednesday, we had a pending buy signal. We talked about it, and we put this on for a relief rally for Netflix, right? Big drop is like what 39% or what was, I can't remember now. 44% drop. Then we'd be looking for a relief rally. It was a pending buy signal. Get a relief rally, and be crazy if it played out similar to that and then continues downward. So the relief rally is on for Netflix, and however the relief rally plays out, be ready for it. UNH catching a little bit of a bounce. SQQQ, the opposite of the QQQs, is the bear ETF. I wouldn't hold this long term. It's designed more for intraday trading. Yep. Let's switch this around. NVIDIA. It's been sideways forever. Is it finally gonna have a bigger drop to the downside? Possibly. IWM. This is the Russell 2000 ETF. Meta. Russell 2000. Another pending sell. It's hard to kill a bull, but once it gets killed, look out below. Hasn't retested the 200-week moving average since May and April, right? Apple, talked about it, covered it. These could be lower highs, right? Lower highs. Tesla, a lot of reasons why price will come back down into this area. Still trending that way. Microsoft, it's got a new gap up there. Filled this massive gap that we talked about the whole way down. All four targets filled that gap. See if it retests the 200-week moving average eventually. ANF, Dow Jones, another pending sell signal. The battle has been going on for nearly 2 months. That battle seems to be lost by the bulls. TQQQQQQQQ over here, the bull 3X. Drop, baby, drop, baby, drop. Drop, baby, drop, baby, drop. SP 500, pending sell signal again. The battle continues. SPY. NASDAQ futures, sell signal yesterday again. The battle continues. Dollar PLTR is flat today. Could have a relief rally though. Amazon.com, Google. Let's see. There you go. Hello. Are you looking for futures? Otherwise, Dow Jones is what is it, the ETF? DGI, DGT, Dow Jones Transportation. Oh yeah. So DGI futures. What else? What else? What else? What else? Bum bum. Netflix ultra bullish on the daily chart now, catching a bounce. And we weren't trading this, but we weren't caught off sides either, right? Oversold, 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 pending buy signal back above the trading dots, and then we laid this out on the pending buy signal over here. I joined Market Snipers. Really interesting. The coaching videos. Awesome. Awesome. How long ago did you join, and what video are you on? I recorded all those. It's non-scripted. I had an outline for like the first 8 to 10, but I literally just gave every ounce of my energy to the live coaching crew, and we recorded those videos. I gave every ounce of energy, 1 to 3 hours per day for like 2 months, and recorded most of it. Of course, some of the live coaching we did off recording because we talked about personal stuff, like other stuff. So it wasn't all recorded, but the majority, at least 75% of it was recorded. At least, probably more, 90% maybe. But cool. What else? That's about it there. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good. We can do the chart requests. Let's see. We have Litecoin. We have a Litecoin request. I haven't seen a Litecoin request in years. Wow. What's going on with Litecoin? Should we check it out? Yeah, we'll check it out. All right. We'll check it out. Hold on 1 second. Litecoin. LTC. Yeah, not much is going on with Litecoin actually. So the monthly chart, the higher time frames are bearish and very similar to a lot of the other altcoins. Downward sloping 200-week moving average is not bullish. Could it flip around? Sure, but it's probably take some time. It's been in a bear market since May 2021. So a lot of similarities to the other altcoins. That's why we don't spend a lot of time on them as of right now, because they all start looking similar. So what else? What else? Jason, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Can you look at XYZ? Yep. Good morning. Good morning. Yep. Thank you for putting in the details. Appreciate that. Where we at? Here's what's interesting is on Comcast, it's been in a bear market since 2021, and you can see the downward sloping 200-week moving average that I've been talking about, that you don't wanna see that on Bitcoin, right? Otherwise, it could be a prolonged bear market or longer than the typical 1 year that we've seen. And if you look at this monthly chart, since the bearish engulfing candle, the RSI sell signal, the MACD bearish crossover, right? Price came all the way down, rallied to the 200, got rejected, comes back down, and now we have bullish divergence on the monthly chart, the 3-week chart. Just got rejected there. So it takes time for momentum to turn around, but momentum could be turning around on Comcast on the higher time frames. We have bullish divergence. So there are some things to be positive about on Comcast after a long, 5-year, 4.5-year bear market. It's a long time. Let's see, 3-week chart, bullish divergence, not only on RSI, but also on the MACD. So interesting. 2-week chart, and we'll see the overall drop 58%. Still in a downward sloping 200. That's a caution. Still well below the 200. Could be additional lower prices creating additional bullish divergence, right? So there are cautions. The monthly chart is still bearish, but the weekly chart is bullish. So the move already happened on the daily chart, but it seems like it's getting closer and closer to a possible buy the dip season. So it's kind of interesting. XYZ, I think you had me look at XYZ the other day. I didn't keep it on there. XYZ block. Yep, gap up, gap down, gap up, gap down, gaps everywhere. See, was the bottom in back here in November 2023? See, even if the bottom is in and you're in a downward sloping 200-week moving average, still not great, right? Still not great. So it's been going through a bottoming phase since June 2022, nearly a 4-year bottoming phase. That's gross. Versus being above the 200, you saw like a massive pump higher, right? Saw a massive pump higher, 500%. So are these swing trades still good? Probably, but they gap it up on you, and the gap and go goes 50%. Weekly chart, currently bearish, currently below the trailing dots. So ideally, you'd want to see, if you're bullish on XYZ company, you want to get back above the 200. You want to get back above the trailing dots with weekly closes, buy signal, all that. Look at the difference, right? Back above the 200, back above the trailing dots, buy signal, boom! What a massive run that was, right? So that's the difference. So we'll see how it goes down. 2-week chart. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's been consolidating for a while. But I mean, you could have been chopped up this whole for almost 4 years. Monthly chart, while there was a downward sloping 200-week moving average. So get back above, that's a different story. So that's about it, Jason. Mm-hmm. Bum, bum, bum. Can you please look at Alice USDT? There you go. Yeah, you should. Well, number one, you should be independent. You should always trust what you see on the charts, not what people tell you. If you're going to be using your money, you need to be making your decisions and not blaming anyone else for their decisions or their charts or whatever. Control your own destiny. Or if you don't want to learn and go through all of that, then have someone else manage your money and live with their results, right? But if you're going to live with your results, um, spend time doing so, right? But there's more than enough in those. I went, I said, if I'm going to record videos, if I'm going to, I rejected coaching people for 6 months. And then I saw scammers who were impersonating me charge $1,000. And people are like, hey, I paid $1,000, but I didn't get any coaching or whatever. I'm like, I don't have any coaching and I don't charge $1,000. This is back in 2021, 2022. And finally I was like, all right, fine. People keep asking me. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in. And I did. I went all in. I put every ounce of my energy for two months. And instead of charging $1,000, I charged $49 a month for recorded coaching for a long time. And then I charged uh $199 a month only for 7 live coaching crew members. And I was like, it's not worth my energy. I did it, but I'm gonna have to either charge you guys tens of thousands of dollars for the amount of energy I'm putting in, or I just make you guys free. And so uh I stopped the coaching and they were free after that. So Alice, sure. Bum, bum, bum. There you go. What else do you want, Lawrence? What are you on the 5 minute chart still? Oh boy, that's monthly chart, daily chart. Every bounce has been sold off, right? Good luck trading that. Monthly chart looks terrible. Daily chart has a pending buy signal. Weekly chart looks awful. Low time, all time lows, right? According to this chart, super bearish. Until proven otherwise, expect all bounces to be sold off. Could you counter trade? Sure. 2 week chart. I mean, all it just looks terrible. 15-minute chart. uh, so the real high time frames are bearish. Daily chart has a pending buy signal, but 15-minute chart is ultra bullish. So yeah, it's not for me, but can't really add too much value here. 5-minute chart. Still ultra bullish. Well, still ultra bullish while the daily chart is pending buy signal. So 1 hour chart. Yeah. I don't give financial advice, but I probably wouldn't be shorting a 15-minute chart while the 1 hour chart is ultra bullish, while the 15-minute chart is ultra bullish, and while the daily chart is bullish, right? So trade with the trend, right? If the 1 hour chart is flipping bullish and the daily chart is flipping bullish, then I'd rather be buying the 15-minute chart. So to each their own. To each their own. What's the ticker symbol? SanDisk. You got it, Lawrence. SNDK. Daily chart. Had a great run. Consolidating. %1,500. Weekly chart is ultra bullish still. It's possible that the top was in at 726. It's really extended, but too early to call it. Too much FOMO for me to chase, and too many orange candles for me to want to short it. This could be the high at 694 on the daily chart. This could be a lower high. This is bearish engulfing candle. So, the better time to buy the dip is down here. Buy low and sell into FOMO, right? So, somewhere in between. I'm not sure if you're in a trade in a long position and you're looking to possibly take profits, but it's not that interesting for me to buy the dip because this is a better buy the dip over here. But I wouldn't be shorting it either. You got it. So I think that's about it. Ooh, we're almost right at about an hour. Yep. About 50 minutes. So it's Friday. Gotta take mom to the airport, hang out with her for a little bit before we go. And the baby, she's got the baby. The nanny had the rest of the week off because my mom wanted to spend time with the baby, and appreciate that. So with that, we will continue to sniper the markets together every day that the stock market is open. And permitting for me is assuming I'm not on vacation or assuming I'm not sick or whatever the case may be, or I got to fill in for the nanny, whatever. You never know what life's going to throw at you. But with that, hope you guys have a good weekend. Guys and gals, have a good weekend. Have a good rest of your Friday. Thanks for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. And with that, we will see you on the next live stream. Adios.